Hi everyone, I'm Pat Prokop and welcome to This Week Weather and Sky for October 6, 2022. To begin with, our weather. It's now in the typical October conditions with very pleasant temperatures and mostly clear skies. Expect this pattern to persist for the next 7 days with no rain expected. Now, due to the lack of rain, if you have a yard and garden, you will need to irrigate them a couple of times in the upcoming days. As a matter of fact, if you look at my 6-week weather outlook, it indicates it'll remain basically dry for several weeks. Now, that doesn't mean we won't have any rain at all. It just means that any rain that we do receive in the next 6 weeks will be lower than what we usually expect this time of the year, which isn't that much at all to begin with. Traditionally, October and November are the two driest months of the fall, and along with April and May, the two driest months in the springtime. Hence the conditions known as a savanna-type climate, that is, alternate wet and dry seasons. Even though it will be dry, coastal regions could experience some flooding, that is, tidal flooding, next week due to the influence of the moon and the sun with the upcoming full moon and a steady fetch of easterly winds over the Atlantic. The high tide cycle, due to astronomical conditions, will be around 8.5 feet, but with a steady component fetch of an easterly wind, expect that to be about a foot to 2 feet higher, particularly Sunday through Wednesday during the mid to late morning hours. Flooding begins at about 9.5 feet. We could see 10 feet or 10.5 feet tides over those days. In the tropics, there are a couple of areas of activity, but none of them will concern us or the U.S. locations for the next week to 10 days. But remember, the hurricane season extends all the way through the month of November. So what's up in the nighttime sky? October is a fine month to view the heavens, and this year it is particularly exciting. First of all, there are the planets. As darkness falls, the ring planet Saturn is visible in the southern sky, shining as a dim yellow-looking star. However, looking through a small telescope will reveal its awesome rings. Here is what it looks like through a telescope from the heavenly backyard garden. And here's the final post-processing image from that same view. Next is mighty Jupiter, which is hard to miss. Other than the moon, Jupiter now is currently the brightest object in the nighttime sky. It'll be high in the east at dark and can be seen all night long. If you look through a small telescope, you should be able to see 4 of its Galilean moons and at times the Great Red Spot. By the way, that red spot is akin to a giant hurricane, and it is so large that if you could fit 2 Earths inside of it. Speaking of the moon, it is now waxing, meaning getting fuller. It'll be very near Jupiter on the night of the 8th, and will be full on the 10th, and then very near Mars in the sky on the 15th. Mars is now rising in the east about 2 to 3 hours after sunset and is steadily growing brighter each night, shining as a bright, ruddy, red-looking star. Keep an eye on Mars for the next several weeks and observe how much brighter it gets each night. By December, Mars will be almost as bright as Jupiter, shining as a bright, fiery red star. There are other planets in the nighttime sky too, but you need a telescope to see them. They are Uranus, or Uranus, and Neptune. I tried to capture these with my telescope, but they are just so far away. Uranus being about 1.75 billion miles away, and Neptune just shy of 3 billion miles out. Here is a composite view of all those planets and the moon that I took on the night of October 4th, from 10 o'clock in the evening to 4 o'clock in the morning. There is a great meteor shower throughout the month of October. It's called the Orionids. It radiates out of the constellation Orion, which is rising in the eastern sky now shortly before midnight. This shower persists throughout the entire month of October, but will peak on the nights of the 21st and the 22nd. With the moon moving out of the way, you can expect to see perhaps 20 meteors per hour in a dark area away from city lights. You'll need to watch after midnight and look high in the eastern sky. Besides all of these, there are numerous nebulae and galaxies to see with the use of the small telescope. The Andromeda galaxy is high in the north just about all night long, and it's our closest galactic neighbor, being about 2 million light years away, and it consists of about 1 trillion stars. Another galactic neighbor is the Triangulum galaxy, or Messier 33, and it's high up in the northeastern sky just after dark and remains up all night long. It is about 3.2 million light years away and consists of about 40 billion stars. By the way, our own Milky Way galaxy contains about 250 billion stars. One of my favorite nebulae is now visible. It's the Pleiades. You can see this without the aid of a telescope as a fuzzy area up in the east-northeastern sky at around 10 o'clock rising time, just above the planet Mars. Viewing through a small telescope reveals a beautiful wisp of blue-colored gases flowing in front of the 7 bright stars, consisting of the asterism known as the Seven Sisters. So enjoy this beautiful fall weather throughout the next several days, and during the nights, look at the sky. And remember, the heavens are filled with these majestic wonders, all in a sky near you. See you later, right here on YouTube.